Hey everybody, good evening. This is Chintua, your happiness specialist, coming to you live from New York. Workwithchin.com or workwithchin.com. Welcome to another episode of our coffee shop chat. Happy Sunday. Now, all right, before I go into the video, today's title is actually called Are You Picking the Size of Your Faith in Your Miracle? Are you picking the size of your faith in your miracle? All right, I'm going to share with you why that title, what inspired me, or who inspired me to, for this title of this video. So let me know where you are living in from. When you come on, I will give you a shout out. Thank you for the reaction. Thank you. When you come in, let me know where you are living in from. I will give you a shout out. All right. So let's get right into the topic of this video. Are you picking the size of your faith in your miracle? All right. As we go in life, we get our inspirations from different places. Sometimes we're inspired by elders. Sometimes we're inspired by our friends. Sometimes we're inspired by total strangers. Sometimes we're inspired by, young people. Sometimes we're inspired by our teachers, our pastors, or, whomever, young or old. It doesn't matter. Your inspiration could come from anywhere. So you just have to be prepared to get inspired at any given moment. So today was a glorious Sunday. And I'm telling you, I'm going to share with you why it was a glorious Sunday. Today is one of those rare Sundays where I didn't have to rush off to work after church. We actually, made it to Sunday school today. Yeah, so, but it was great. It was an amazing experience from the church service to another congregation where my pastor was a guest speaker. So we were honored to also be a part of that. So it was an amazing day. So to get into the topic of, are you picking your faith, the size of your faith for your miracles? Now, I was inspired by two different people for this topic. And the first inspiration came from our pastor. That was, the topic of today's sermon about our faith. We talked about, Daniel. Then, if you're familiar with the book of Daniel, Daniel was, where he was given the gift of vision and interpreting dreams. Excuse me. Daniel happened to be one of the three Hebrew boys that were kidnapped, from their homeland, into Babylon, by King Nebuchadnezzar, right? And we learned that Daniel happens to be, the one that was gifted with vision and interpreting dreams. And Nebuchadnezzar used him to interpret all the dreams, the difficult, what do you call it? Dreams that he would have, that no one else, out of all the people that he had surrounding him, the soothsayers, the senators, the councilmen, you name it, all the people that were so smart, none of them could interpret his dreams but Daniel. Daniel was the only one. So Daniel was gifted with that, and Daniel had total faith in God, and he was connected to God, because he knew that that's where his gift came from, and he appreciated that. So in discussing the issue of faith, my pastor did share with us that, while we have faith, right? And this is going somewhere. I'm going to, weave this into the faith as a human being, the faith as you believing in, the Almighty, and the faith in whatever your journey happens to be, maybe your business, maybe whatever, that you're currently doing, because you need to have that faith. Otherwise, nothing is going to, happen. And also with faith, you got to, incorporate it with work, because the Bible also says that faith without work is hopeless, useless, something like that, right? So, hey, thank you for the reaction. I don't know who was that. That looked like Abba. Anyway, don't be afraid. Come on in, say hello. Unless you're watching in the backgrounds. If you get some value from what I'm sharing, go ahead, let me know or share it out, because this might resonate with you. It might resonate with someone you know, and it might be something useful to you as well. So as he was talking about faith in our Sunday school, and talked about some of us having faith to the extent, right? Maybe there's just this much faith, right? Not total faith that our miracle will happen. Some of us have just enough faith, waiting until that thing that we're asking for actually happens. We don't totally get sold out, in our faith. We don't totally get sold out in what we're asking God for, or we don't totally get sold out that God has our back, that God has us, that He's got us, that He's got it, that what's that expression? You got this, that God got this. Some of us have just enough faith. So I interpret it as, picking the size of your faith. Because when you pick the size of your faith, when you're not totally sold out, you're only believing just a little bit. But in order for your miracles to happen for you, you got to be sold out. Even when what you're asking for doesn't happen like right away. Because God is good like that, because, just because what you pray for, what you ask for doesn't happen like within 24 hours doesn't mean that God is not listening. It doesn't mean that God abandoned you. It doesn't mean that your miracle is not coming, right? So some of us waste so much time trying to reap before we sow. All right. That's the second part that I'm going to weave, for you. And where I got that inspiration for reaping before you sow was from this young, he's our youth pastor. He's an amazing, amazing, brilliant young guy, Brian. Brian is an amazing dude. I mean, when we went to this other pastor's congregation this evening, and he got up there for 5 minutes, he just, you wouldn't believe that, what was coming from him was coming from a youth pastor, right? Because the thing that he shared about us, not reaping before we sow was so powerful, because a lot of us, even as adults, we tend to think that, hey, before we can reap something, that we don't need to sow. Some of us want to reap before we sow. And I'm going to weave that into, say, your business, for example. A lot of us get frustrated, so frustrated when we start something, if nothing happens in the first 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, or even within the first year, we get frustrated. We say, this thing doesn't work. This business thing doesn't work. Someone cheated me. They lied to me. Not knowing that we haven't sown. Because take this, for example, take, for example, a farmer, right? A farmer who is, whose main crop is corn or maize or whatever, pick a crop of your choice. If that farmer doesn't sow, how in cultivation, in harvesting season, right? If he doesn't cultivate, if she doesn't cultivate, how in the harvest season is he or she going to reap? Can you imagine that? If you go to the farm and, for example, you didn't sow corn or maize or whatever it is, and then come harvesting season, you expect to reap something, right? You go out to the farm and you expect to reap something, right? Guess what's going to happen? You will reap absolutely nothing if you don't sow. So why is it that a lot of us, spend so much time trying to make quick buck or quick profits without sowing first? And by sowing, I mean, learning the skill sets, being able to show other people, show the marketplace that, hey, you know what? Here's what I have to offer. Here's, the skill sets that I have that you can use to help you along your journey, right? Most of us expect to reap without sowing. See, without sowing, you can't reap. You can't honestly expect to reap. All right. So when Brian shared this, topic on from the rostrum. It was amazing, and he had the whole congregation standing on their feet, and it was so powerful that even my pastor was, everybody in our congregation knows what Brian is capable of. If you're in our congregation, our church, every Sunday, you get an opportunity to see him. You see how he has grown as a young man in faith. And when you just hear him talk and talk about faith and reaping, before you sow, yes, that's the Brian that I know. And if you don't know him, you'll be amazed. Even though we are, amazed and proud that, he is part of us. He is part of our congregation. We're so proud to have him. So those were two inspirations for this video. All right, my pastor and Brian, right? Because in order for your miracles to happen, and they are going to happen, you just have to believe. You've heard of having faith, as little or small as a mustard seed. I've never seen a mustard seed. It's got to be small. If you have the faith as small as a mustard seed, that you can move mountains, that God will help you move mountains. You can make anything happen, because with God, nothing is impossible. And if you're kind of, rolling your eyes and saying, oh my God, he's talking about God, he's talking about religion. Absolutely not. I'm not talking about religion or anything like that, but I am talking about faith. And yes, I'm talking about belief in God and having faith in whatever it is that you're doing. Even if it's your business, your job, or, your marriage, your, whatever, in your personal life. Because for you to make anything happen, anything work, you have to first believe that it is possible. How many times have you heard, or even maybe sometimes yourself, if you're watching this right now, by the way, if you're watching this, and you get one iota of value, here's what I want you to do. I want you to share the video, because someone out there needs to hear this. Someone out there could use this. Someone out there could use this topic, that you can't reap before you sow, that you can't pick the size of your faith, right? That you have to go all in belief in yourself, and belief in your journey, belief in the fact that God will be there to answer whatever prayer that you ask for. Whatever it is that you ask for, when you ask for it, believe and get sold out. Just like the man at the beautiful gate, when Peter and his compadres came across this man at the beautiful gate. He had been sitting there for 38 years, something like that, not being able to walk. And he was at the beautiful gate begging for something, begging for money, gold, silver. And guess what Peter said? He said to him, silver, gold, I have not. But what I have, I'll give to you. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, stand up and walk. And this man, without hesitation, without doubt in his mind, because he had faith, he believed in Peter's word. And guess what happened? He just picked up himself and started walking. He was, you can call him a leper, paralyzed, or whatever modern term you can attach to that. He hadn't walked. He hadn't left that spot for 38 years. But when he heard that, silver or gold I have not, because they didn't have silver or gold to give him. But Peter said, but what I have, I give to you. He said, I had faith. I had the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He said, stand up and walk. And that, just like that, this man stood up and walked. Right? And another case, another miraculous thing that happened, where, a woman touched the hem of Jesus Christ and she was healed. Right? Just like that, because she believed. So these people didn't pick the size of their faith. They did not pick the size of their faith. They sold out on their faith. They knew that, hey, if this woman knew that if I touched their hem, I didn't even have to have him pray for me. She believed that if I just touched the hem of his garment, that she would be healed, that I would be healed. And then the man at the beautiful gate, as soon as he heard, in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, stand up and walk. He picked up himself and just started walking because he did not pick the size of his faith. So don't pick the size of your faith. I've come to learn not to pick the size of my faith, that I truly believe in what I pray for, what I ask for, say my business or whatever it is that I'm asking for, I'm seeking, right? That I have to be sold out on it, that I have to not only believe, that I also have to take action. Right? So if you're starting a business, if you're starting a home business or affiliate marketing, whatever it is, right? And you want to make it work, what you have to do is first believe that it would work for you. Believe that, because you were here, you were brought here not to be fearful, right? You were brought here not to be fearful, but to have faith that whatever you embark on, whatever journey that you embark on, as long as you believe it, as long as it's your calling, that you will succeed at it, right? Once you have that faith, once you're sold out in your faith, then you get to the nitty-gritty part of actually working to make it happen, to make it come true, because if you apply work to that faith, it is bound to happen for you. All right? Hopefully you're getting value. If you got value from this, just drop #value. And if you're seeing this as a replay and it made sense, it resonated with you, and maybe, you got an aha moment watching this video, just drop #replay so I know you came here afterwards. All right. And that this video did something for you, that it resonated with you, that it ticked something in you. Right. So don't pick two things. Don't pick the size of your faith. That's number one. Number two, don't reap before you sow. Just make sure that, hey, before someone can pay you for something, that you have to have provided value. Because someone once said to me, and I've learned it, I've heard it so many times, that the amount of money that you make that you're going to make in your business will be equal to the number of people that you've helped. So if you haven't helped anybody, if you haven't, maybe right now you're a team of one, right? Learn those skills to become that leader that's capable of leading not only yourself, but other people. All right. Because the more people that you lead, the more people that you help make happen what they want to make happen, the size your income will become. All right. Don't reap before you sow. Right? You got to sow before you reap. It just doesn't work any other way. Right? I know that, that even if you're not a farmer, I know I am not a farmer, but I know that you can't reap before you sow. And don't pick the size of your faith. All right? Truly believe, truly get sold out on your faith. Even if you're not, maybe up to this point, you don't understand what faith means. Maybe you don't understand what it's all about. But faith is nothing other than believing in your ability, in your God-given ability, and believing that when you embark on whatever task, as long as you see it through, as long as you don't quit, as long as you don't give up, that you will make it. All right. So I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you sharing this video. If you just happen to be scrolling through Facebook and you ran across this, maybe you're not following me, or you don't get notifications that I'm on live. Somewhere in the middle, there's a notification button. It might say off. If it's off on your end, just tap it and it will say on. That's it. So next time I'm on, Facebook will let you know that, hey, Chin is doing a live stream. Go check out and see what he's talking about. And today's topic, I'm going to recap. 1, do not pick the size of your faith. The size of your faith should be this big. If you try to wrap your arms around it, you shouldn't be able to, grab hold of it. That's how big the size of your faith should be. The size of your faith should not be this small. Hey, Ray, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Did you get value? If you got value, Ray, just drop #value. All right. So don't pick the size of your faith, and never, never, never try to reap before you sow. All right. Because if you try to reap before you sow, you're going to come up with nothing. You're going to come up with zero. You're going to keep struggling, because most people that, try to figure out why no one is joining, why no one is buying, why nobody is paying them attention, or why no one is watching my video, or no one is reading my emails, or whatever. That's just mean that it doesn't mean that you're not good. It doesn't mean that, people don't like you. It doesn't mean that, that what you have is no good or nobody wants it. It's just that you haven't been there long enough. You haven't shared long enough. People don't know you because people actually buy from people they know, like, and trust. The more you're out here, the more you're putting yourself out there, the more people get to know you. The more they'll begin to read your emails, the more they'll begin to watch your live streams, the more they'll begin to read your emails, the more they'll begin to check you out. And here's the other thing if you get nothing from this, even if you believe that no one is paying attention to you, I'm here to tell you, bar none, guaranteed that someone is watching. Even if they're not saying anything, even if they're not commenting, even if they're not liking. Some people just like to be in the background to see, maybe, is this someone that I would really like to follow? Is this someone that has something that I want to listen to? Is this someone that has something that can help me? Because 3 questions that people have in their mind when they come across your material, when they come across your face, they're asking themselves, can this person help me? Right? Can I trust you? Will you be there for me? Right? Will you be there for me? Can I trust you? Can you help me? Right? If you can answer those questions for them without having to, literally answer it for them, if they see it in your content, in your voice, in your expression, in the content that you share, in everything that you're doing, more than likely, you'll have people coming to you. That's called attraction marketing. All right? Having people come to you without you chasing them. All right, hopefully you got something from this video. If you did, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna put in the comments something that I've been doing for now, for a while now, for at least 4 or 5 months, almost 5 months. All right, it's like nothing I've ever done before. Ray is familiar with what it is. It's a digital franchise that, it has revolutionized, changed everything that I've done. I had done up until last September, right? This digital franchise changed everything for me. All right. If you've been struggling, if you've been trying to figure out, is there something that actually works out there? Is there something out there that's made for me? Is there something out there that I can use as a brand new person or as someone that hasn't never made a dollar, a dime online? Is there something out there that I can use that can help me? This digital franchise will work for you. Like one of my friends, Sean Johnson, it says, whether you're coming out of jail or Yale, that this will work for you as long as you leave your ego at the door, right? Get sold out, right? Don't pick the size of your faith. This digital franchise will work for you, right? Throw out everything that you believe about whatever, all right? Suspend your disbelief. Suspend your disbelief. Someone said that sometimes you just have to suspend your disbelief. All right? Because sometimes people see something very simple. They say, hey, you know what? That can't be true. No one can, join something for $1 and leverage it to $1,000 paydays. All right? That's people that are thinking like that are those that have little faith. People that are picking the size of their faith. Right? People that don't believe enough in themselves. People that don't believe that they deserve. Right? If you want to know what this digital franchise is about, if you've never heard of it before, and this is something that, you want to find out more about, send me a message, either a messenger or in the comments. I'll be more than happy to share it with you. All right? I appreciate you. Remember that everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. So be kind always. And as always, always be loving, be loved. God bless you. Have an amazing rest of your Sunday, whatever you choose to do. If you're watching sports, I don't even know what is on at this time of year. I haven't really been paying attention to football or any other sport. So just living my life. And hopefully you're living yours. All right? I appreciate you. Until the next live, this is Chintua, your happiness specialist. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.